What is up, people? I know we have been away from you for a few weeks now, but this is a new format that we're doing. We're going to be doing shows every every couple of weeks instead of every week. We're still trying this out. Of course, I am DJ Cash. You are listening to C&J Wrestling Talk, and I'm joined on the hosting panel tonight by my man Jake.
Hey man, how's it going?
Hey, I'm doing fine. I'm glad you thought of that last minute hair choice to go with that hat.
Sure.
Yeah, of course, Jake, he'll be here with me on the show. And of course, we're going to be talking all about what happened. Oh my God damn, did we get a good episode of Monday Night Raw last night? Of course, we're going to be getting into Sami Zayn versus John Cena. We're going to get into the great situation that we got coming up at Payback in 2 weeks, the Fatal 4-Way. And we're going to be pinpointing every single thing that happened on Raw. So let's go ahead and get started. We kicked off Monday Night Raw with Randy Orton and Roman Reigns segment, a little confrontation. It was good, I will say that. But Jake, I gotta admit, when I heard the New Day come out, did you notice like Randy Orton, like he kind of like danced to it a bit, like once you heard the.
Yeah, and I guess you gotta make a kind of a joke out of it, because that's basically what New Day are—a joke.
Well, you can say that all
I'll
you
give them.
want. You can say that all you want, but yeah, we will get into that. Don't worry, we will get into that. And like, of course, I didn't know the New Day was coming. They were actually the last person I thought they would come out. But how did you like the opening segment? And talk about the match, the 2-on-3 handicap match.
I thought the opening segment was pretty alright, pretty alright. The match, the match we all expected it, because you got Roman Reigns, Randy Orton going up against the New Day. Of course, we all knew the New Day were going to get the hell beaten out of them, which they basically did. They put up maybe a half decent fight, but still, we all knew that Orton and Reigns were going to beat the crap out of them. However, I did not expect that the way the match ended.
That is true. And of course, what Jake is talking about, folks, is Kofi Kingston pinned Randy Orton. He pinned Randy Orton. Can you believe that? Kofi Kingston in 2015 pinned Randy Orton. Now, if Kofi Kingston would have done this in 2009, I would have no problems with it. But it's Kofi Kingston being part of a crappy gimmick in the New Day, and he pins a 12-time world champion and Randy Orton. Like I said, for me, the match was there. It was actually okay. I was kind of afraid that the New Day was going to lose, and I told you this earlier, Jake. I was afraid that WWE was going to go with the angle of Reigns and Orton being tag team champions leading up to their pay-per-view fight. I thought that would have been hilarious if they would have done that.
Yeah, it probably would have been a little bit funny, because that would have showed, remnants of Cena and Shawn Michaels back in, I believe 2008, going into WrestleMania 23.
Hey, I'll tell you what. Hey, I'll do you one better. Remember Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H?
Yes. The famous tag team champions that didn't last very long.
They suck. Let's just be honest here. But yeah, anyway, hey, there's one thing I do have to mention. I like the way Randy Orton, like, I think, like, he actually, because I don't know if I was the only one who noticed this, he kind of, like, does it different when it comes to Cena. Like, Randy Orton, he'll, like, downplay the Young Bucks, so to speak. Like, you heard the way how he was, like, comparing him and Reigns. Like, I've been at 12 WrestleManias. You've been at 3. I'm a 12-time world champion. Have you ever been 12-time world champion? No. So I like the way Randy Orton was playing that little, like, yeah, I'm the veteran. You're still the rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of an interesting point, because you're going into, I believe, Roman Reigns' second payback after WrestleMania, and then you have, let's see, we have one veteran, a 12-time World Heavyweight Championship, and my God, 3 basically rookies. Dean Ambrose, who's never been in a title match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. The Shocking Thief, from WrestleMania got the Russell that got his WrestleMania moment, Seth Rollins. And then you have the man that's coming back for payback, hence the title of the pay-per-view, Roman Reigns.
You can say that he got lucky all you want. You can say all you want, but you know me, man. I'm a Seth Rollins guy. You know me, man. I'm a Seth Rollins guy through and through. But anyway, speaking of Seth Rollins, let's actually go ahead and move on to a little bit because we saw more interaction between Seth Rollins and Kane. Like, I don't know about you, Jake, but man, I have been. And look, I'm going to admit this, people. Lord knows I have not been the biggest Kane fan over the last few months, but the stuff that he has been doing over the last few weeks, I absolutely love the fact that Kane is an authority figure. Like, he has really taken a new direction in terms of where he was with the authority. I mean, I'll be honest with you, kind of having Triple H and Stephanie McMahon off TV. I gotta admit, having Stephanie and Triple H off TV has been great in my opinion. Just let Kane go back and him do his thing as the director of operations. And the way he has been torturing Seth, I know he's supposed to be playing that the heel role, but honestly, let's just be honest, he's been torturing Seth.
Yep. After the whole incident at Extreme Rules, you know that Seth Rollins had it coming. Hell,
I wouldn't say no. Listen to me. Listen, I would not say he had it coming because I'll be honest with you. Everybody's been telling Seth Rollins, yes, the reason why you are WWE World Heavyweight Champion is because of Kane. I really do not think, even if Kane did not get involved in that Money in the Bank ladder match last summer, I still think Seth Rollins would have went on to win the briefcase and would have became World Heavyweight Champion on his own.
I don't think so. I hate to say it, I don't think so. Because if you look back at the footage, even though Kane, yes, did help Seth Rollins get the Money in the Bank briefcase, it was imminent. It was imminent that Roman Reigns
Listen, leave me alone. Yeah, that's true, man. That's true. Yeah, that's definitely true. Look, see, we're trying to get focused here, folks, because Monday Night Raw was just so epic. But speaking of Seth Rollins and Kane, they had a little bit of interaction between each other backstage, and it was they were arguing, of course, Seth Rollins is telling Kane, "You are not doing your job right," and then Kane, he says, "I want to do what's best for business, and what's best for business is you taking on Dean Ambrose." We will get there tonight. And by the way, for the people who don't watch SmackDown, that's the reason why we got that match again. Because for you people who don't watch SmackDown, we actually got this match in the main event last week. But I do not care. I loved it. Let's actually go ahead and skip all that mess. And let's just get on to the important mess. Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose. Again, Kane made this match, and he actually added a caveat to this. If Rollins would lose to Ambrose, then Ambrose would get added to the main event at Payback. So we now know that it will be Ambrose versus Rollins versus Reigns versus Orton in a fatal four-way match at Payback for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Now, again, I gotta clap for Citizen Kane on this one. I absolutely love the way, because honestly, I was really looking forward to the Seth Rollins Dean Ambrose match already. He just made it even better when he added that stipulation on. You could actually tell it had that big fight feel. When was the last time you had a match on Raw that had that big fight feel?
When's the last time you've had a match with Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose that's had a big fight feel?
Yeah, I think it's been. It's been a while. I think the last time they faced off in a singles match was October.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, man, what are your thoughts on Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose, and your thoughts on the main event at Payback?
I thought the match was overall pretty good for the main event of Raw because we all knew that Kane was going to torture Seth Rollins somehow, some way, and then Dean Ambrose going into the main event, we just thought, oh, yep, this is just going to be a match. We already know it's a triple threat match at Payback. And then Kane coming out and making that stipulation possible. I'll give him his dues. I'll give the devil his dues. That was impressive because going into Payback, not not a lot of people see this as, oh yeah, this is just going to be a normal fatal four way and nobody's going to fight. This is a fatal four way where everybody is gunning for the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Roman Reigns wants payback for the embarrassment at WrestleMania. Dean Ambrose wants payback after the destruction of the Shield and the destruction of almost his career. And then Randy Orton, same thing as Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I'll tell you one thing though. A lot of people I heard after the show that the only reason that Dean Ambrose is there is to only take the pin from Seth Rollins, and to me that is just a shame. It is really a shame because the match that he had last night with Seth Rollins was absolutely great. This is the damn match that we should have gotten at Hell in a Cell. I'm just glad we finally got it. It was the perfect Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose match. It was what I wanted last year. I'm just glad we finally got it. But back to Ambrose for a second, like, yeah, this really does suck for him because like he had huge momentum coming off. I mean, is the company like really behind Dean Ambrose, or is he just gonna go back to the glorified jobber that he was before he had gotten into the main event status?
I think, well, let's hopefully, hopefully that's not that's not the whole thing. Hopefully it'll be Dean Ambrose going in to the match, and if he is just there to pick up the pinfall, well, get the pinfall delivered to him, that after the match he goes on to maybe not possibly main event status cards. Because do we really want Dean Ambrose back in the mid card, fighting every chance he gets and losing? Losing against Barrett, losing against Bray Wyatt, losing against Cesaro, and everybody and their mother.
I mean, like you make a great point, man. You make a really great point, but I just don't think that the company is like fully behind Dean Ambrose. I mean, like honestly, if you really think about it, he had the might skills in the Shield. He had that aura about him. It's just ever since he broke away from that group, it's just he's just been trying to like find himself in WWE. Honestly, he could have done something with the Intercontinental Championship, but they didn't let him win that. I just hope that Dean Ambrose versus Randy Orton, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns at Payback. I just hope that this will not be his one opportunity at the world title, but this will be opportunities that come to him for many months to come in 2015.
Yep. And who knows? Even if he does lose in that match, there's always a number one contender shot to the actual final three that lose.
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay, enough of that. We are gonna go ahead and move on to we had a match between Fandango and Rusev. I don't know why. I just felt stupid at this point, I guess. I actually thought Fandango was gonna pull off an upset and knock off Rusev, and I know that sounds really weird, but yeah, I actually thought that. Now, have you? Of course, we know at Payback, Rusev will get another opportunity for some reason at the United States Championship when he takes on John Cena in an I Quit match. Do we even need to talk about this?
No, not really, because when's the last time? Well, hell, is there any time Cena said "I quit" other than the whole voice recording thing with Miz? I
Yeah,
believe. What was the pay per view? Let's see,
it
Over
was.
the Limit.
Yeah, it was Overload 2011. I can even tell you the voice right now. He was like, "I quit." That was the last time. That was the only time you ever hear John Cena say "I quit," folks, in a recording. Which is why I'm laughing at this. Because seriously, why are we even doing this match? Honestly, the Russian Chain match should have been it for John Cena and Rusev. That should have been the final saga. So what is WWE gonna do? They are gonna like cut Rusev's momentum completely after Payback when he says the words "I quit." Rusev, I am sorry, but when you say "I quit," your career is done because I don't see you doing anything after that.
And the only way possible for them to not completely cut Rusev's momentum is, you know, somehow having Cena say I quit, which is very, very
Unlikely.
impossible.
It's
Exactly.
let's just call it Jake. It's unlikely that he will actually say I quit. I mean, I just cannot picture. But I will say there is one interesting thing that I do like about this match. Like I can't picture Rusev saying I quit, and I can't picture Cena saying it. So we talked about this earlier. Maybe WWE can do a like little thing like Lana throws in the towel and Rusev quits. That way, Rusev technically doesn't say it, and that way, John Cena doesn't say it. John Cena retains the title. Rusev may get saved a bit. The jury will still be out on that, but I would like it if they did go with that because I just don't want to see Rusev being like Bray Wyatt, irrelevant.
Yep. And that's the one thing we do not want. We do not want another Bray Wyatt. Because God help us all after what happened at WrestleMania.
Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and move on now to speaking of Bray Wyatt. Let's actually go and talk about him and the big guy, Ryback. Last night we had a little bit of segment. Ryback, he was talking on how, like, I do this for the WWE universe and I love you guys, trying to play to the crowd in Canada. And is it me or didn't we already hear that promo back in December? I gotta admit, even Bray Wyatt and his greatness could not save this promo. I mean, it just was not good. It just was not accurate. It really just was not accurate to me, folks. And like the one thing that I did not like about Rusev versus not Rusev, Bray Wyatt versus Ryback feud is to me, it's just thrown together. To me, it's just another thing for Bray Wyatt to try at and fail. Now, honestly, for me, Ryback and Bray Wyatt to me is not a good combination. It just doesn't like because think about it, like when Bray Wyatt first like popped onto the scene here in WWE, like he took on like he took on like guys like John Cena. He took on guys like Daniel Bryan, and I'm even gonna throw him in the Big Show. Like and Bray Wyatt, I mean, like really since he came back in October of last year when he feuded with Dean Ambrose, like he has just been trying to find his niche. And keep in mind, this is the same Bray Wyatt who a couple of weeks ago lost to the Undertaker, to the old ass Undertaker. And he's still going out there every single night and he's still calling himself the face of fear. I just really do not see what Bray Wyatt could possibly gain for defeating a guy like Ryback, who honestly, folks, if you think about it, he really needs wins as well. I mean, it just doesn't. Like I said, this feud for me. Here's the thing: we're probably gonna get the match at Payback. I am actually not. Here's the thing: I'm a little if when it comes to that. Like, I don't want the match to happen prematurely just because these guys have been feuding for a few weeks. I think this needs to progress, and in order for us to like, we have to give this like a chance. Because to me, in a way, it's one thing to look at this, and it's like, okay, yeah, we this is a ridiculous rivalry, but it's another thing to give for WWE of giving a chance for Ryback, to grow and actually be a main eventer. Now, I like that aspect of it. I just hope that Bray Wyatt and Ryback can deliver a proper feud and deliver a good match in the process. And now I would like to welcome my man Jake back to the show. We were just discussing Ryback and Bray Wyatt. So, what are your thoughts on this feud? And we're likely going to get the match at Payback.
Yeah, we're likely gonna get the match of Payback, but the whole feud thing, I'm kind of not into it. I'm kind of not into it at all. Mostly because Bray Wyatt, yeah, is the whole thing, y- and I just really don't get it.
Yeah, like really? I mean, like like I said, I mentioned this while you were gone, trying to get all set up. The one thing I kind of like look at it in a situation where, think about it. This is WWE of giving Ryback a chance to be like a major main eventer. Like, can we really like look at this rivalry and say it immediately? It's a flop.
No, I can't say it's a flop, but it's just we all know that Ryback is probably just gonna win this because if Ryback is supposed to be, kind of in a main eventing, well, not a main eventing, kind of in momentum, then why would they have Bray Wyatt win this saga? Yes, Bray Wyatt needs to win a feud for once in a while, but can't see that. I can't see Bray Wyatt winning this feud.
That is true, very true. By the way, people, just to let you know, we'll be back next week at 7:30 Eastern Time. We will be giving our WWE Payback 2015 preview. We will be breaking down all the matches that will be happening on Payback. Hopefully, we'll see you next week. But now let's actually move on to what you have all been waiting for. Last night, John Cena did another U.S. Open challenge, even though we were in Canada. He had another U.S. Open challenge, and lo and behold, who answered the challenge? Bret the Hitman Hart. No, he did not answer the challenge. He just walked down the street clothes just to introduce the hometown hero, the baby face of 2015. My man, I am one of the Zaniacs. Sami Zayn. Hey, Jake, I need to see you cringing right now in the background.
Well, what can I obviously say about this kid? I mean, the guy's obviously very, very talented from what he's shown us in NXT, and he's trained all over the world, from Japan all the way to India. And my God, it's just, it's, it's just nothing you can say bad about this guy.
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's not anything to say about Sami Zayn, but we'll talk about him. But the match, I cannot be the only one who felt like this great match, could have went longer if it was not at the 10 o'clock hour. Because like I was a little concerned because like I was wondering, okay, we're getting this at the 10 o'clock hour, and I know we still have two more matches, so either this is gonna get cut short or the main event's gonna get cut short. And thank God this match did not get cut short. For I think this lasted about 8 minutes, and for the 8 minutes that we got, it was incredible to see John Cena versus Sami Zayn in 2015. I cannot wait because they're gonna have to do John Cena versus Neville, and I can't wait to see that one. But yeah, Sami Zayn, for those of you who don't know, he's a resident right now on the NXT roster, former NXT champion, one of the biggest underdogs in NXT, in my opinion. And he finally made his Raw debut on the main roster. Now, a lot of people have been saying he should have came up like a year ago or maybe even 2 years ago. Like, of course, go back and watch the Sami Zayn versus Cesaro match at NXT Arrival and tell me this kid does not have a shot at being at least Intercontinental Champion. I dare you to tell me. But yeah, Jake, what did you think about Sami Zayn's main roster debut and what he could possibly be when he gets to the actual main roster full time?
I think, well, first of all, I think when he gets to the main roster, that he's going to be, something, because when you see Neville, another NXT former resident, when he came to the main roster, I thought, oh, this is just going to be like the Ascension. There goes Neville down the drain. I'm not giving up on Neville just yet. He's had some good matches. Unfortunately, he hasn't won many of them, but there still have been great matches. And when Sami Zayn comes to WWE main roster, hopefully he will be the same as Neville. Good booking, good matches, winning maybe a few in his beginning time in the main roster, then winning them more often and often and often.
Yeah, that's true. I'll be honest with you, man. Like when I saw Sami Zayn clutch his shoulder, like it was hurting him. Like you just could like feel like, oh please God, we don't want this. And can you imagine if that match would have gotten stopped in Canada against John Cena in your main roster debut? Can you imagine if they would have stopped that match?
Oh man, that would have been a travesty because, of course, you don't want to have a match stopped in your
You mean
hometown.
travesty than
That's
the Undertaker getting defeated?
kind of, but then again, not that big of a travesty.
Dang.
But it still would have been terrible because that's your hometown, and then you had a match stop because you were injured. Everybody in his hometown would still appreciate him, but they would never look at him the same again.
Yeah, that's definitely a one way of looking at it. Now, like I said, the match with John Cena was great. I hope we get to see more of Sami Zayn. And speaking of Sami Zayn, he will actually be taking on Kevin Owens for the NXT Championship May 20th on the WWE Network for $9.99, but it's actually $10.37 plus tax.
Of
And
course.
it'll be NXT Takeover Unstoppable. I cannot wait to see that. Which, by the way, people, we're going to start talking about NXT also a lot more on the show once we get more situated. So before we sign off, Jake, did we forget to add anything to the show?
Well, this might be the first time I'm saying this, but we did forget about the divas.
Oh man! Jake, we gotta talk about. It. We have to talk about. It. We are obligated to. And people, what Jake is talking about last night was supposed to be Nikki Bella versus Naomi. Of course, the Bella twins doing their little schnick, like you can look what you can't touch. I'm getting tired of that song. Like, yeah, they're coming down. Of course, Tamina made her return with Naomi, and they attacked the Bella Twins. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Divas of Doom 2.0. Like, what can we really say about this? I will say I did like the sneak attack. We don't see sneak attacks often in the Divas division, so I thought that was a nice touch. So, Jake, what are your thoughts on Tamina's return to WWE?
I thought it was I thought it was well placed because if you're trying to make Naomi a heel, this is a good start because the whole thing after she said, "This is family." If you don't know, now you know that Naomi married the son of Rakishi. I believe he's
Jimmy
Jimmy
Russo.
Uso.
Yep.
Yep, and Jimmy Uso and Jay Uso are cousins of Tamina's father. Well, nephews of Tamina's father, the Superfly Jimmy Snooker. So,
I
you
love this
know,
stuff. Yeah.
yep, when you know that she said family, she meant it. And hopefully this escalates to something a little bit better. But the whole Naomi being a heel,
I mean,
please.
Jay, we actually have to give credit to Naomi because I actually think she's been doing an incredible job working this heel role. This is what I think needs to happen. WWE put the Divas title on Naomi and actually build up baby faces from the NXT roster. So that way, when Naomi gets beat for that title, I'm hoping my girl Charlotte or Sasha Banks or Becky Lynch, and I'm even throwing her in Bailey either one of them. I want one of those four to knock off Naomi for that belt. That's what needs to happen. But as far as Tamina goes, Jack, I think it's safe to say that when it comes to Tamina, I don't think she's ever been. I don't think she's ever had that true run. Actually, let me scratch it. I don't think she's ever had that run for the Divas Championship. I mean, she did a little something with Paige last year, but that didn't go anywhere. And I remember, like back in 2012, she bowed Beth Phoenix for the title. That didn't go anywhere. I just think Tamina, she's just been like misused a lot since the breakup from the Usos in 2010. I mean, like honestly, I think Tamina should have had at least two Divas title reigns by now.
Yep. I at least would have thought by, hopefully with the whole AJ Lee thing after, I believe, WrestleMania 29, that
Yeah,
she
that
would
was
have at
stupid.
least, yeah, she would have at least tried to get the whole Divas Championship, but instead, oh no, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna still be your bodyguard.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna be this person's bodyguard. Okay, now I'm gonna try for the title. I fail, and now I'm gonna be Naomi's bodyguard again. It's just like she's bodyguard, bodyguard. Try for the title,
And
bodyguard.
I really hate that about Tamina. I really don't like the way they put Tamina as that bodyguard role. I really hate it because Tamina, she honestly has so much talent to give to the WWE. She honestly could have been the next Beth Phoenix. She kind of reminds me of a lot. She kind of reminds me a lot of China, and because you know who I'm talking about.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about. I think she could have been like
Yep.
China. Like, I'm just hoping that WWE will finally give Tamina the belt and do something with her career because I really do not want to see her back in that bodyguard role. I mean, I just don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
Yep. And speaking before we go of Naomi, WWE creative team, why? Why make Naomi a clone of Sasha Banks?
Jake, I wholeheartedly agree with you. Extreme Rules, they fucked that one up. Like, you just ripped off one of my favorite divas in NXT's gimmick. You just ripped it off, and I despise you for that. But yeah, anyway, as far as I'm concerned, man, Evo, hopefully we will see you back here next week for the Payback 2015 preview show. As far as I'm concerned, I am DJ Cass. Thank you to my man Jake for joining the show with me tonight. We will see you next
Yep.
week. Peace out.
See ya.